I know tonight was opening night, and it's in the rain delay right now. But this is our special show that we got going because we know most of the games are tomorrow. But we got in store for you former Chicago Cubs play-by-play announcer and current Braves broadcaster Chip Caray, son of Skip Caray and grandson to Harry Caray. So I'm looking forward to it. I know, Eric, you're looking forward to it as well. So let's get right down and going with it. Let's get started with tonight's game. I know you were watching it.
Yeah.
I heard Stanton hit a home run. That's a plus because he's got to do something with that big contract, right?
Yeah, if he stays healthy, right, that's the big thing with him.
Yeah, so I mean, that's the main thing. And he hit it off Scherzer, nonetheless.
Yeah.
I heard
another home run too. I think Adam Eaton hit one, so the season's off to a home run hitting. It picked up where it left off last year.
I heard, did you know this? I heard this was the first time that the two pitchers that started in the World Series last year were the ones who started tonight, Cole and Scherzer. And the only other time that happened, I guess, was Volquez and who was it? It was after Cueto. Sorry, Cueto and Volquez after the Giants and Royals World Series. So only other time that's happened.
Right.
You don't find that often.
Yeah, I didn't think of that, but yeah, that obviously would be a very unique circumstance, and yeah.
Yeah. So
Byron? What's what the Blue Jays had on? You got to knock that off.
Well, the Blue Jays hat. It's just any random hat I could just find. So give me one sec.
Okay. So he's left me here alone.
All right. But yeah, let's get right to the games. I know you want to get right into it tomorrow. Let's talk about before we get in Chip. Let's talk about the Rays opener tomorrow against the Blue Jays, who yet to have a home, I might add. They might play here in Dunedin. Who knows? They might play in Buffalo. Who knows? Baltimore wants them, but who knows with the city of Baltimore. Pittsburgh already turned them down. They could be homeless for the whole year. Who knows?
It is very interesting. If they pick Dunedin, I mean, it's like, how many rainouts will there be? Why not just play in Tropicana Field then, right? I mean, it's just like, if you're going to play there, just play in a dome.
Well, that's what the Blue Jays are looking for because they want a stadium that's like major league quality with the lighting. Here, if you played in Dunedin, it's just minor league. So, yeah, they fixed it all up real nice and all that for spring. It's not really major league ready to play night games. And plus, like you said, why, when it's been raining, if you're going to do that, then just play at the Trop. Yeah, ask the Rays or something. Ask the governor. He's been really open since this whole thing to have sports here. Why not ask the governor? I'm sure the governor would okay it.
Right.
So, I mean, it's... Where do you think they'll ultimately end up, though?
I mean, they did spend a lot of money. The local city, the Dunedin, spent a lot on that stadium.
They did,
so
yeah.
Kind of makes sense there. But, I mean, Buffalo also makes sense. Is that where their AAA team is?
Yes, the Bisons. Yeah.
So that would make the most sense, I think, it would be Buffalo.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
It's just the thing with the minor league stadium. Though you would have to fix the lighting, which they want major league lighting. Which I don't know why they would want to do that, considering the fact they won't be playing there that long.
I mean, but all those players are played in minor league stadiums with minor league lighting, and they did really well. So I don't see how that's a disadvantage to them.
I don't get it either, but that's just the talk, though. The Blue Jays, that's what they want. So I don't know. You know how the Blue Jays are. They're picky. So. But let's get right down to the game, though. That's what I'm more interested about, since I am also a Rays fan as well. And I know you are a diehard season Rays fan as well. So let's get right to the game. Snell's going to be pitching. Do we know who's pitching for the? Is it
Morton's
Snell?
Pitching. Morton.
Okay, because they were debating on if Snell was even going to come back or not. I don't know. A while back ago, I know that because he was worried about this COVID. He didn't know if he was going to play or not.
That was one comment he made, and that's really water under the bridge. It's a non-issue. So, no, he's going to be pitching. They're not. I think he's going Sunday. Yarborough's going Saturday, and Snell, who pitched Tuesday, would be lined up to pitch Sunday. So.
And what about our lineup? Have you seen our lineup yet? 1 through 9.
Well, it's there. We're up against the lefty, so you figure Yandy Diaz leadoff. Hunter Renfroe will be in there. Jose Martinez will be in there. Grasso will probably be in there. Interesting. He made the roster over Robertson. That it kind of came down to either one of those two players, and I've always Robertson's kind of grown on me, and I mean defensively he's elite. He's an elite defender. I guess it came down to Grasso being able to play the outfield a little bit more.
See, this is what's going to make this game interesting, because the Blue Jays are a young and prosperous team. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, a lot of people have them in the dumps, but their talent says otherwise. They have at least at least 5 or 6 Hall of Fame players' sons on their roster, main roster. They got
2.
I meant in their organization. Looking forward in their organization. They got Conine's kid.
He's not a Hall of Famer.
No, but
you're talking about just former major league players. Yeah, okay, they have a lot. Yeah.
Their only thing is they need pitching.
I know they got that young guy who actually they sent down, Nate Peters. I think it's Peterson. Am I saying his name last? Is it Pearson?
Yeah.
Nate Pearson.
Yeah.
Florida guy from here. But yeah, he looks like electric stuff. And when he was in the draft, I think that was the when we drafted McKay.
Yes.
I believe that was McKay.
Yes, that was McKay's year.
So we took McKay before him. But he looks like an ace in the making. 6'5". He throws high 90s.
That's always been the Blue Jays' problem. They have the talent. They just don't have the pitching. That's always been their problem. And that's what it comes down to. They've always had the hitting between not only just the young guns coming up, but they've had veteran leadership on that team to come with the young guns. They just can't do nothing because their pitching always gives them in debt, and from behind. I mean, that's not going to win you many games. That's a disaster right there, I mean, do we even know who really the Blue Jays ace is? Honestly?
No, they don't have an ace. And look, it's tough to get the hitting and the pitching really good at the same time. It's the only really good teams are able to do it.
You got to look at it as this too. That's got to come down to organizational standpoint too. Why are you not drafting? There's good pitchers out there. Why can't you find good pitchers?
Oh, I don't think it has anything to do with their drafting. I thought they've been drafting really well. The Blue Jays.
Why isn't it coming to fruition then? Why is everybody they're drafting or getting not good, pitching wise, to help them?
No, they are. I mean, I think you're looking at it too macro. It has to be a micro level, and they have arms. I said Nate Pearson is a great.
Yeah, but he's not called up yet, though. I don't think.
He's on their 60-man. I just saw that he wasn't put on their 30-man roster. But he is the future ace of the Blue Jays, and they can build around that. If they make some trades or sign some players, their payroll is top half of the league. They're doing it right. I think the Blue Jays. It's just they're probably 2 years away, at least next year. So. That's just my thought on the Blue Jays.
Well, I see it's 9:15. Are you ready to get into our guest?
Yeah, let's give him a call.
Let's give him a call. I'll let you even do the honors of asking the first question.
Oh.
Yeah, that's such a nice guy of me, right? Hold on, give him a second here. Hold on, it's not letting me... There we go. Perfect. All right.
Hello.
Hey Chip, welcome to the Sports Space Show with Byron and Eric. How are you tonight?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Excellent. Staying in there, being safe. I hope you and your family are as well.
Yeah, we're all good. We're all good. Ready to go and fired up for baseball starting back up.
That's right.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us, Chip. This is Eric, co-host of the show. We have Chip Carey on the program, who's the currently with the Atlanta Braves and formerly with the play by voice of the Cubs. Thanks for joining us. The first question I want to ask you is: you were the voice of the Cubs during the 1998 season. Of course, that was when Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire were battling for the home run crown. Take us through that season and how awesome was it, being there and watching every game?
Well, in a lot of ways, it was bittersweet for me because '98 was the year before my grandfather died. He passed away in February of that year, and we were supposed to work together. So from a personal standpoint, it was really hard because he and I were supposed to work together. He was going to show me the ropes in Chicago and sort of hand the baton off after a year or two. But that never got to happen. So not only did I not get to hang out with my grandfather, who I didn't know particularly well, I missed out on the family connection and the family closure of a circle, as it were, but I also missed out on basically a walking, talking encyclopedia of baseball for a guy that started broadcasting baseball in 1945. All that was lost to eternity, and that was a great regret and still is a great regret of mine. And so stepping into '98, trying to fill impossibly large shoes in Chicago, his booth, his partner, his team, his town, that was really, really hard. But I had Steve Stone and Arnie Harris, two great people who were dear friends of mine. Arnie passed away, of course, a couple of years after I'd been in Chicago. He was the longtime producer and director of the team, but Steve was my partner and still a very dear friend. But we had the great luxury of a team that nobody expected to do anything, and the '98 Cubs came out of nowhere and were very competitive and very good with a veteran team. And the baseball gods sort of tapped the Cubs on the shoulders, and maybe it was Harry Carey's divine intervention from above, hopefully above and not below, that said, look, let's have a good team and give this kid a chance to get his feet on the ground and establish some roots, and that's the way it worked out for me personally. Nothing's easier for a broadcaster going into a new market than to have a good team to broadcast, because the pressure's not on you. Everybody's focused on the team, and I was very, very fortunate in '98 that nobody expected the Cubs to be a great team, but they were. They made the playoffs, won the wild card game against the Giants, and had a chance to beat the Braves and didn't. But it was a magical year in a lot of respects, a lot of fun, and one that I'll never forget for sure.
So I'd like to know. Tell us how it was growing up with your grandfather and with your father doing the games. Did you get to spend most of that with them on the road, or did you have to be at home? How did that go? How did life go like that?
Well, no. I mean, I think the greatest misperception about me personally, because most people don't bother to ask, is what kind of relationship I had with my dad and my grandfather. My grandparents were divorced. My mom and dad were divorced. I didn't know either one of them particularly well until I became an adult. I didn't really know Harry very well. I think people have this perception that I was born and they put this silver microphone in my crib and they sat around the kitchen table and taught me how to broadcast. That never really happened. And that's, again, the great sadness in my life with my grandfather especially, is that I didn't know him. I didn't get to spend any time with him until I was 24, 25 years old and already establishing myself as a basketball announcer. And the same was true for my dad. I didn't spend a lot of time with him. Once I left the Cubs and came back to Atlanta, that was really rewarding, because I got to take him to the ballpark and go get his prescriptions and take him to lunch and get his luggage from the carousel when we go on the road trips together. So I really got to be my father's son, and he got to be my dad when I was in my 30s and he was in his early 60s. So ours was a very unique circumstance, a very different life, one that I think people aren't really expecting to hear, but that's the truth. And I don't have any regrets about what I missed, at least with my dad, because the last 4 or 5 years of his life, we really got to connect on a lot of different levels, and I'm grateful for that.
Right, that's good to hear. Kind of bring it back to this season. What's your expectations on the Atlanta Braves? Obviously, weird season, 60 games. It's more of a sprint and not a marathon, which is weird to say in a baseball season. But what's your expectations on the season for the Braves?
Well, this is a good team. They've got a really good team. I'm concerned about the starting pitching. I don't know if they have enough, but we'll see. Not having Cole Hamels available certainly doesn't help. But this is a team that has found a way to win the division the last couple of years when nobody expected them to do it. The players that are here are the players that are here. They're very good, very talented. The East is going to be an absolute juggernaut to go through. There are going to be no easy games every single night for teams that are trying to get into postseason play. But look, the club has Freddie Freeman, Ozzie Albies, Ronald Acuna Jr., Mike Soroka, Will Smith, when healthy, is one that's going to be very, very, very talented. And I think that the exciting thing about this team is that they are very good, but they don't have an arrogance about how good they are. They know they've got to go out and earn it. But I think they realize that they have a 5 or 6 year window where they have a chance to really do some very special things. And I think they're up to the challenge. There's not a person in Braves country that wasn't disappointed with the way that last year ended in the first round against the Cardinals. The Braves, I think, were clearly the better team. And if they had won that series, they had a chance to get to the NLCS against the Dodgers. That didn't happen. They didn't play good fundamental baseball. And I think the understanding for this club is that, sometimes you have to learn how not to win before you learn how to win. That was the case last year. I know I can't wait for them to get started Friday in New York. And it's going to be a great season. Every game is going to be important. Every pitch is important. And I think nothing will be taken for granted for any of us.
Yeah, I know. I can't wait. I can't believe it's actually here after all this time. And we didn't even know if there was going to be a season after not only just this, but the league fighting with the players over issues with the money, the health. I mean, it's a long time coming. I'm just glad it's here. But the question I have now for you is, I asked this earlier, but I think you wanted to wait till now. But I want to ask you, since you have been a broadcaster all these years, what is it like you had a couple scrimmages with no fans in seats? Is it different? Atmosphere more different? What's the atmosphere like when doing games?
It's different. Yeah, it's different not seeing fans at the ballpark. It's different not yelling and screaming. Societal responsibility. I firmly believe that if there's a chance that we will have fans in the ballpark at some point this season, whether it's at the end of the regular season or in playoffs, we got to have them if it's going to be what it should be. But I applaud that Major League Baseball and the teams individually are trying to find ways to make it feel as normal as possible. But look, it's an adjustment. It's different. It's weird. But in life, like baseball, it's adapt or die. And if you don't come to grips with the new reality as it is, you're going to really struggle with it. But I have found that with those two exhibition games, once the game starts and once you're focused on calling the game and you're locked into each pitch and each play and each player and the stories and the stats and all the things that have to get done, you don't really notice that it's all that different. Because if you're focused on the fans about pretty girls that are walking, through the concourse and stuff, you're not focusing on job, which is the ball in play. And I think, once the game starts, the game is the game. And we all understand that this is a unique situation. This is a year unlike any other. And I think all of us are very, very capable of focusing on calling the game. And we've been able to do that with the two games at home. I think it'll be easier, obviously, when you have live players in front of you instead of watching the game off a monitor, which will start for us on Friday. But look, we're just all overjoyed that we have baseball to talk about. And whether it's in person or off a monitor, we don't care. It's the greatest game in the world. We are fortunate to do what we do. And to be able to do it in even a truncated season is really a blessing.
Right. Well said. We can't wait for it. I actually got to ask you now, switching sports, since you did play-by-play with the Magic back in the 90s, I got to ask you, as a Magic fan myself, during the finals when Nick Anderson missed the free throw, do you think if he made that, they win that game? Do you think they win that series?
I do, yes. But that's sort of a product of what was going on in the league at the time. Everybody's showing dunks and everybody's showing 3 points. Fundamentals are critically important, and I'll use that Magic series as a mirror of what happened to the Braves in Game 4 against the Cardinals. Atlanta had the bases loaded a couple of times in the last 3 innings and didn't score a run, and that cost them the game. When it comes down to crunch time, you got to do the little things. It's not about the highlight reels. It's doing the little things that makes a huge difference. And Nick Anderson's a great guy. I consider him a friend. He was a terrific guy, a terrific competitor. But in that era, it was all about dunks and 3 points and all that kind of stuff. And, you don't hit your free throws, you don't win a lot of games. And that happened a lot with the Magic with Shaquille O'Neal. He didn't hit his free throws, and the team didn't win a handful of games because of that. So, yeah, I firmly believe that the Magic were the better team. I think if they hit those free throws, they get confident, they get on a roll, they start sowing the seeds of doubt in the minds of the Houston Rockets instead of the other way around. Right. And, they win that game. Maybe Kenny Smith doesn't hit any threes, and maybe all those Akeem Olajuwon's not quite so dominant. Maybe it's the Magic that hoist a banner. And if they had, I think the history of the Magic would have been written a whole lot differently. Shaq probably never would have left. They would have gotten their arena a lot faster. And the Magic would have been considered one of the elite franchises in the NBA. And sadly, right now, they're paying the price for that.
Yeah, they are. They truly are. No doubt about it. But yeah, now you're mentioning about the teams you broadcasted for in the 90s growing up, watching. It was either the Cubs or the Braves between the national games before the Rays came on. I gotta ask you, out of those big 3 pitchers that you guys had, Mulder, Smoltz, and Glavine, who do you think was the better one out of them all? I know it's a tough debate, but who do you think, in your opinion, was the better of them all?
Well, Maddox, Smoltz, and Glavine. I think it depends on what your flavor is, right? If you like Neapolitan ice cream, some people like the strawberry part, some people like the vanilla part, some people like the chocolate part. John Smoltz was the chocolate ice cream. He was the aggressive, in your face, I'm coming after you, I am, the alpha dog, I'm ultra competitive, and I'm going to find a way to beat you even on a day when I don't have my own stuff. And if it means me psyching you out, I'm the guy that's going to do that to you. Greg Maddux was the strawberry. He could twirl the ball, spin the ball, make the ball move. Just sort of tease the palate, as it were, with the way that he could manipulate the baseball and the way that he could manipulate a lineup. And I mean, yesterday was the anniversary of a 76-pitch complete game for him, for God's sakes. He could just make the ball dance, and he just was so far ahead of the game and knew what the hitters were doing before they knew what they were doing. And then Tom Glavine was the vanilla. And by that I mean Tom was the steady, stable palate cleanser, the guy that would go out every fifth day, give you 7 innings, give you a chance to win, and ended up with over 300 wins in his career. And so asking me to pick which one is the best of the three, I can't possibly do it, because they really were first among equals. They all did it very differently. They all did it very, very well. And they exuded professionalism and, the best of what baseball's supposed to be. And I'm really grateful to call. So asking me to pick one's really not a fair question, because it's like asking you which one's your favorite kid.
Right.
Yeah.
So I've got to ask you, and this might be another impossible question for you to answer, because you've seen a lot. Do you have a favorite moment in the broadcast booth?
A couple of them. When my dad, grandfather, and I, what it meant to my grandfather. I don't really call Harry my grandfather, but he was, an orphan. This was sort of his crowning achievement, that his son and his grandson were doing what he did. The first game that I did with my dad, my first game in the major leagues, when I'm 21 game where he's saying, "Take me out to the ball game at Wrigley Field," that was a big one. Jason Hayward's first big league home run, Chipper Jones' last home run. I mean, I've been very, very lucky in that I've been able to capture big moments, and my calls have been able to, I guess, withstand the test of time. I don't know why, I don't know how. I don't script them. But I've really been lucky to be around really great people who've allowed me to be in a position where I'm allowed to shine. And when I've been able to shine, it's somehow stood out. So, Shaq ripping down basketball goals. The last game that he played at the Boston Garden when the Magic knocked out the Celtics, and the last game ever played at the old Boston Garden. The first ever game in the history of the Magic. I mean, I've really been blessed with my broadcasting career, and I look back with very few regrets and a lot of great memories of the people that I've been able to work with, and hopefully the lives I've been able to touch with just my ability to describe stuff that happens on an athletic field.
So your time with the Cubs, now that you mention it, now you mentioned Ozzy Osbourne and singing the 7th inning stretch to take me out to the ball game. How did your grandfather come up with that originally, or how did that come up in the organization? How did that first come about?
Well, Harry worked with the White Sox. Harry Carey worked with the White Sox, and Bill Beck was the owner of the White Sox. And we need more guys like Bill Beck running Major League Baseball teams. He was an incredible promoter, an incredible showman who understood that it was about fun. And Bill Beck noticed that when the 7th inning stretch came on at Comiskey Park, there was a wonderful lady named Nancy Faust who was the organ player, and she would start playing and take me out to the ball game. And Harry always stood up during the 7th inning stretch and was singing in the booth. And one day, unbeknownst to Harry, Bill Beck stuck a live microphone in the booth. And as soon as Harry started singing, they turned the mic on, and all of a sudden my grandfather hears his voice booming across the PA, "Take me out to the ball game." And after the game, there was a press lounge called the Bard's Room, which is where the writers and the broadcasters would go out to the game and have a couple of cocktails. Back in the days when they treated you like an adult, you could have a drink before you drove home. And Harry walks in, and there's Bill Beck, who was a survivor of Guadalcanal in World War II. He'd lost his leg. He's sitting there with his leg out of his stump, out of his prosthesis, and he's using his prosthesis as an ashtray. And Harry walks like, "What the hell was that? I'm just going to hear my microphone booming over the PA system." And Beck said, "Harry, relax. When I heard you sing, I knew you were the perfect guy that we needed to put on the PA for 7th inning. Just bleep singer that nobody would be intimidated. They'd all sing along with you, and they'd join in song during the 7th inning stretch." And that's how it began. Just Bill Beck deciding to have some fun and being creative. And all of a sudden, it became a tradition and a calling card for my grandfather that he carried over to the White Sox. True story.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Wow, that
That's
is
awesome.
awesome. That is awesome. So before we let you go, I want to make you act. I want to make you act like an analyst right now. My colleague over here, Eric, is a Rays fan. I'm a Padres fan. How well do you think our teams will fare this year in a 60-game season?
Okay, which teams are they?
His is the Rays. Mine is the Padres.
Okay, I'll start with the Rays. Losing Poche doesn't help their bullpen, quite obviously, but you've got a really good starting rotation if they're healthy with Glass now and Charlie Morton and Blake Snell, who is going to get hit with their more than one book about how they play them. Nobody wants to play 30 games in their ballpark. That said, Kevin Cash has done an amazing job with that team, interchangeable parts, and I want to play them 4 or 5 times. And I think they're going to give the Yankees everything they can handle in the East. I think they're going to be a really, really good team, and I really hope that they make the playoffs. I think that would be great and a wonderful achievement for them. As far as the Padres are concerned, I think the Padres are still a year away. They've got a lot of talent. I think they have a lot of pieces they're still trying to figure out how they're going to work together. The Eric Hosmer deal has not worked out particularly well. They got to figure out what's up with Will Myers. He should be better than he is. They've got some good young pitching that hasn't taken that next step forward. Manny Machado is the man out there, but you've got Tatis as well. I still think they need a couple of pieces, and they need some good luck. But now, with the 16 teams going into the postseason tournament, I think anybody's got a chance, and I think that's great. And I personally would love to see a team get wiped out by injuries, not severe injuries. I'd love to see a team get wiped out by injuries and have a double-A squad come in and just wipe out the Yankees or the Dodgers or somebody like that, like the NCAA tournament being a 16 seed beating a number 1 seed.
I would love that.
I think that would be fantastic for the game. And, maybe the Padres or the Rays will be that kind of club. But look, baseball's back. I don't care who's in. I hope the Braves are one of the teams. We're excited to be back. And I know it's so much fun to be talking about that instead of COVID and riots and all that crazy stuff that's going on in the world. So,
no, I agree.
We're headed in the right direction for sure.
Definitely. But I appreciate it, and so does Eric, for joining us. We appreciate your time, especially with opening day right around the corner for you guys. When the season is halfway through or comes close to playoffs time, we'd love to have you on again if you don't mind.
Okay, guys. Thanks so much. Have a good night. Take care.
You too. Take care.
Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Chip Carey right there.
Yeah, what a legend. A legend. He don't consider himself that, but I think he is. Growing up in the 90s, that's all, growing up in the 90s, that's all there was to listen to before the Rays.
Well, I tell you, there's a lot of memories of, I think we talked about it, when it was just the Braves and the Cubs, summer days, watching a Cubs game, and you got Chip Carey and Steve Stone, it's just ingrained in my brain.
Exactly.
And it's, those late 90s, early 2000s, it was, it's awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
That's... I mean, especially Steve Stone, he's still kicking it strong these days with the White Sox. The crosstown rival, he's still kicking it. I still hear him every now and then. I mean, it just never gets old. But yeah, I mean, watch the everyday, National League televised game there was. I'm sure you were too. I was a Braves fan. I was a Cubs fan before, the Rays came about.
Yeah, I watched them. I wasn't fans of the teams, but really per se. But yeah, it's memories growing up, listening to Chip Carey, and his father Skip when he did the Braves. Yeah, it's a huge part of.
I did like his debate though on the ice cream debate though with the pitchers. I did like that one. That was funny.
What, and then his asking him if he has a favorite moment, and he went on and on with like 20
I mean, it was great. I mean that was awesome. But yeah, hopefully they go far in the playoffs, just like our teams. I want it just like him.
Yeah, I think the Braves will. I think the Braves will. I say you got to say they're the favorites in that. Well, I mean, you got the Nationals, the defending champs. That's a tough division.
It is a tough division. The Marlins have
the NL East better than the AL East.
Yes.
I think top to bottom, it is.
Yes, because I can't. No matter how much I say about the Blue Jays and their talent, they don't have the pitching.
When the Red Sox are taking
the Red Sox are going downhill, and of course, the Orioles, they ain't going nowhere anytime soon.
You take the two bottom teams of each division, the Marlins and the Orioles. What, the Mets?
Yes.
Yeah.
By far the Phillies, because the Red Sox are going downhill.
Then you go Nationals, Rays.
Yep.
I'm by it. I'd say that's a coin flip. I mean, you could make the case for either one. I think most people will probably say Nationals. There's probably, but that's either 3 or 4 teams.
It's going to be a tough division, as Chip said. It's going to be a tough division, and I can't wait to see it. I can't. I mean, we've got 20 games in that division this year.
West and it's going to be really fun. It's going to be fun, and it's here. I had my doubts for weeks, for months. It's a great time. This was a great edition of a kind of special edition, and having Chip carry on, that was awesome.
It was. And him growing up, especially the story of how, I mean, he's right. Everybody thought he just grew up with a microphone in his hand. No, that's not the case, as he said. I mean, that was a great story he told. No.
Yeah, good stuff. And we'll have I guess we're taking tomorrow night off, and then we'll be back on Sunday.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
We'll be back on Sunday. Do you want to preview some games real quick before we head off? Do you have any up on your phone? Do you want to preview any for tomorrow?
Well, I guess the Braves, since we're talking about the Braves and the Mets.
Ooh, that's a tough one, because the Mets have proven to always face the Braves toughest, no matter how bad the Mets are. That one, because Freddie Freeman, if he can stay healthy, as Chip says, he's a 5-star talent, and within that division, along with, I can't say Harper, because I think he's the most overrated player in the league. But yeah, with the talent they have there, Stroman.
No, it's DeGrom. Stroman. No, that wouldn't be Stroman. It's DeGrom.
Okay. Well, they still have Stroman over there. I don't think he's going to help much. DeGrom, I don't know. Do you think he's had it? Seen his better years past him, or what?
Perform. So, no, I think DeGrom has a good season. He's an ace. I think he still is. So, then we'll go Diamondbacks and Padres.
No, that's going to be different. I'm going to be tuned into the app to watch it. I was like, that's going to be weird, because I'm so used to him in the Giants outfit. Oh.
Yeah.
That's I'm going to say Padres, because yes, the Diamondbacks aren't up, but they're hitting to match the Padres hitting. Right now, Myers is hitting pretty good. Hosmer's hitting good. Tatis, stellar. He's coming back from injury from last year. I'm going to have to say, I'm going to, unfortunately, it's a toss-up, but I'm going to have to, I don't know.
I'll go Diamondbacks.
And why do you say Diamondbacks?
I think the Padres are overrated. So that's all I will say.
Oh boy. Okay. Ones. Come on. Pull up. Alright, let's do those. ESPN. Who you got? It's Brandon Woodruff against Kyle Hendricks. Hendricks' first opening day start.
Yeah, I think the Cubs have a down year, and the Brewers. I like the Brewers, and
I agree with you. The Cubs will have a down year because rookie manager, still learning the ropes. Yes, he's a catcher, but he's still learning the ropes as a rookie manager. I just think he's going to do all right, but Council's been with the team how long? 3-4 years managing. So I think they got that division lock. The Kyle Hendricks starting, I don't know about that one. I don't know what the deal with is on that, but I can't put him as top of the line starter. If you have him going, that spells trouble right there as your number one. I don't know. Do you agree with that?
Well, and it may not be the number one because the way the season and the 5 days, I don't know what their thinking is, but yeah, he's not their number one starter.
All right, so we got another one here. Well, we got Angels and A's, 10 o'clock, also on ESPN. We got Haney going up against Montas. Who you got?
Give me the A's. Give me the A's all day there.
Over the growing Angels, who are up and coming.
Oh, I would go A's. I like the A's in that division. The A's win the ALS because they don't have Cole. If they didn't, Cole's not with them. Yes, they take a step back. They flip it. The Astros are the wild card team. The A's win that division.
I don't know. That's going to be tough because I still think they can get through there with their pitching. They've got Verlander.
I'd like to see how Verlander is. He's not getting younger, and he drank a little fountain of youth water there.
Big game, especially come postseason time.
And they got Greinke. I don't like the Astros. I don't like their pitching. I don't.
I don't like their bullpen.
I don't like their bullpen. I don't like their rotation.
Their bullpen needs a lot to desire. A lot.
They're not a top 5 team anymore. The Astros. They're not.
Ozuna is not what he used to be, shall I say? That's their closer still. Yeah, they need some help. And then lastly, let's do Pittsburgh and St. Louis. We got Joe Musgrove.
Well, the Cardinals for sure. I think the Pirates are the worst team in that division. It's not even close. Jack Flaherty is a top pitcher. He's Cy Young caliber. The Cardinals are going to have a really good team there. I think they'll compete with the Brewers, and then possibly the Reds.
I don't know about the Cardinals. I mean, I just don't know about their veteran bats anymore. They're older.
Vision. They probably don't make the playoffs, or they're not talked about making the playoffs. But I think in that weak division, the Cardinals can. They don't win in the playoffs, though.
Yeah, but
you're not.
Yadier is not getting any younger. Carpenter's not getting any younger.
Yeah, it's a fair case. It's an old team. Yeah. It's an old team.
And I don't even know what they did in free agency. Did they get anybody in free agency to help them? I don't think so. I didn't hear any.
I can't think of any names of who they got. So yeah, I don't have that on me. But I don't think they could make the play.
The sleeper team in the AL.
Sleeper team in the AL. It's a good It's a good question. Do
I do, but do you?
I mean, a lot of people are saying the White Sox potentially could. Who do you have as a team that potentially not talked about but could get there?
The Mariners.
Okay, that's fair.
What the Rays have, veteran leadership, and they have a combination of rookies. And that mix kind of helps. They've got excuse me. They've got, he can still steal bases. He'll be the top stolen base leader, I think, in the league. You've got, let's see, Mitch Haniger, another young star. Yes, he's also getting older too, but he can still hit the home runs. Pile the home runs.
It's a sleep pick. Yeah. It's a good pick. You know what team we talked about them.
Ew.
And their pitching their rotation is not bad.
No, it's not.
Their pitching is not bad. They're young players. A lot of them were young.
Jordan Yamamoto.
Right. Yeah, I think their over-under wins is like 22 or 20.
They traded for they got Jonathan
Dickerson.
Yeah, they got Jonathan Villar from Minnesota last year.
Right.
And who else did you say?
Well, no, Corey Dickerson.
Who?
Corey Dickerson.
Oh yeah, Corey Dickerson. Yeah.
Yes.
They signed Matt Joyce.
Those players are not. Yeah, how many games can they win? Their WAR is going to be around 0, or So, but I don't know. I just a hunch and just looking at their pitching.
No, I mean I agree with you. Seriously, that's my sleeper pick in the NL.
I know. I think the Reds can make the playoffs. So I say the Reds.
The Reds?
I said that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it's a toss-up between Marlins and the Reds. I gotta say.
I think the Marlins could win close to 30 games and go around 500, but they're not going to sniff the playoffs. I'm not going.
I don't know. I mean, you never know in a 60-game season. You never know. Before we conclude here,
well, I'd say the Astros for the AL, most overhyped team. They may not even make the playoffs.
Okay.
And NL most overhyped team. Ooh. I guess Dodgers, especially now with Kershaw might be injured. I'd say Dodgers.
Okay. Mine are AL Yankees. By far.
Okay, you could go. Yeah, that's fair.
By far, Yankees. I got myself on that one, but I'm going to have to go with the Phillies. Since you went Dodgers, I gotta go with Phillies.
Okay, that's a fair pick. I'm okay with that. Yeah.
I just don't like Harp. Yeah, it was a great show. Thanks to Chip Carey for joining us. Follow us again on Facebook at Sports Base Show with Byron and Eric. Our Twitter page, same as well. Sports Base Show that you have out there. Apple, Google, Spotify. I don't know the others, but same thing. Who we have for Sunday? That's a midnight. Stay safe. Same with you, Eric. Enjoy the games tomorrow. I will try to be tuning in, maybe. But enjoy your weekend until Sunday. Let me know on location.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right. See ya.
Have a good night.